Hello and welcome once again to the Popcorn Muncher YouTube channel. I'm Tom Beasley, the editor of the Popcorn Muncher, and today's video is another of my top fives. Coming into UK cinemas today, if you can find it, is the absolutely brilliant boxing drama Journeyman, written, directed by and starring Paddy Considine, who last wrote and directed a film with Tyrannosaur, which was an absolutely wonderful, tough British drama. Considine hasn't directed a film since, but he's back with Journeyman, which sees him play a boxer who suffers severe head trauma after a fight and is left unable to remember his daughter and kind of struggling to learn how to live in the world again. It's a really emotional, affecting drama with a tremendous performance by Considine at its heart. And so to mark that, I thought I would take a look at my top 5 Paddy Considine performances.
Very nice. High five.
So at number 5 is Considine's tremendous performance as Sergeant Eddie Parks in The Girl with All the Gifts, a fabulous British zombie movie that came out back in 2016. Considine is the sort of military boss of a base where uninfected children are kept while the rest of the population has been ravaged by this virus that's turned them into zombie-like creatures known as hungries. Considine's character is very no-nonsense, very straightforward military guy who has put the kind of safety of the population ahead of everything else. He initially seems to be a real bad guy of a character, but he really deepens and is made more complex as the story goes on. It's not a particularly showy Considine performance, but given how strong the film around him is, it's also a really strong part for him, and I would urge everyone to see The Girl with All the Gifts. It's a very good film.
Because we're a team now, and there's 4 of us, so we should come up with a name for it.
At number 4 is Pride, in which Considine plays Di Donovan, the spokesperson and one of the leaders of a group of Welsh miners who find themselves in a strange alliance with a group of gay and lesbian campaigners who band together in the 80s as they're both being persecuted by the establishment. And despite the initial misgivings of many of the Welsh miners, the two groups come together, and Considine's character is a huge part of that. He's one of the first to warm to the cause of the gay characters, and he gives a rousing speech in a gay club at one point that is a real emotional moment for the film. It's one of Considine's more sensitive, more measured performances, and I think he does a really good job of conveying the kind of conflicted nature that's inherent within many of these minor characters, as they are, taking their bigotry to one side and joining forces with people who are, equally put down by the society in which they're living in. It's one of Considine's best roles, and if you haven't seen Pride, you really should go and see it.
Why is it, when something happens, it is always you 3?
So in third place is a joint third place. It's a bit of a cheat, but I've gone for 2 of Considine's roles in Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg's Cornetto trilogy, as D.S. Andy Wainwright in Hot Fuzz, and as Stephen Prince in The World's End. They're very different parts. The Hot Fuzz character sees him in a hilarious double act with Rafe Spall as the Andys, whose job is basically to constantly needle Simon Pegg's character, and as a result they get some of the movie's best lines, with absolutely fantastic delivery from Considine and Spall. Many of their lines are the most memorable and most quotable from that film, and it's certainly true that Considine makes an impact. Over in The World's End, it's a slightly less overtly comedic character, but Stephen still gets some great lines, is at the centre of the sort of romance plot of the film with Rosamund Pike's character. And it's all really interesting the way he interacts again with Simon Pegg's character. They again have this sort of rivalry relationship, which is teased out through the performances. The World's End is not quite as big a performance from Considine, but it's one that certainly merits on being up there amongst his best, and that role in Hot Fuzz is just phenomenal.
This town isn't big enough for 2 supervillains.
In second place is the one we're all here for. It is Journeyman, which sees Considine deliver an absolutely tragic performance, full of heart, as a boxer whose career and life is stripped from him by a tragic accident derived from head trauma. It's a performance of real complexity and real emotion. Considine, having written and directed the film, allows himself the opportunity to really get inside the character. It's not a boxing movie in the traditional sense of a Rocky or a Raging Bull. It's something slightly different. In fact, boxing doesn't really play a part beyond the first act. It's more just a vessel to get the character into this place for what essentially is a study of masculinity. There's a lot in the film about male characters who have been in this macho world of boxing finally having the opportunity to show emotion. And that's something the film really teases out, and it's especially true of Considine, who delivers a performance that is both terrifying and heartbreaking in equal measure. It's a wonderful performance, and it's a shame that Journeyman isn't in more cinemas. I'll put a link in this description to the cinemas where it is playing, because I think if you have the opportunity to go out and see it, you really should, because it's one of the best things Considine has done, and probably the best British film I've seen this year.
You were the chosen one!
And number one on my list is Dead Man's Shoes, which was co-written by Considine along with Shane Meadows, with whom he's a regular collaborator. This is a tough film. It's the film that many people will think of first when you mention Paddy Considine. It sees him play Richard, who is an army veteran who returns home to his small community in Derbyshire and begins to take revenge against the gang of drug dealers that tormented and abused his disabled brother. It's a film of real intensity, and Considine's performance is just horrifying. He has such aggression and such rage within him that he's able to convey even when he's not speaking, even when he's not saying a word, even when he's not killing and injuring people. It's a performance of barely pent-up aggression filled with regular explosions, but still Considine is able to bring depth to it. It's not a caricature. It's not just a man on a mission to avenge his brother. It's something far more complex than that. And it really deals with the nature of revenge as well. It's not quite in the same vein as Jeremy Saulnier's Blue Ruin, but it certainly has that element of revenge taking a toll as much as it has a catharsis. And I think that's something that really comes through in Considine's performance. So for me, it's not only Considine's best performance to date, but also one of the best British films I've seen in a very, very long time. It's very much Shane Meadows at his best. I think This Is England and Dead Man's Shoes are the two best films Meadows has made, and Considine really shines here.
Sweet. Cheers, geese. Can't we, mate?
Sorry.
What are you looking at? See you in a bit, yeah?
So that's it. That is my top 5 Paddy Considine performances. So we had at 5, The Girl with All the Gifts. At 4, Pride. At 3rd, a joint entry for Hot Fuzz and The World's End. At number 2, his new movie Journeyman. And at number 1, the incredible Dead Man's Shoes. But let me know what you guys think. What are your favourite Paddy Considine performances? Have you seen Journeyman? If so, what did you think of it? Let me know all of that in the comments section. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, leave a like on the video, and have a look at some of the other videos we've made, and let me know what you think of those. You can also find all of our Popcorn Muncher content at thepopcornmuncher.com, and I'll put all of our social media channels in the description below. Make sure you click on those, follow us, and get involved. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching.